do you guys know, did you know that your computer actually requires maintenance just like a car? We always talk about the software maintenance, doing your Windows updates and all those things. But physically, I'll tell you what, I learned a valuable lesson with cars. I had two vehicles. This was back when I first got married. I had my sports car, my super duper racer, and then we had a brand new car. Well, the reason I got the brand new car was because I had two vehicles in the shop at the very same time, same week, that had 100,000 miles on them, and the timing chain broke on one car and the timing belt broke on the other one. Why? I never read an owner's manual in my life. I didn't know that. It's kind of like who didn't know she had to change the oil in her car. Remember that, Fernando?
Yeah.
So I'm going to bring something up on your computer. Your computer needs a physical tune-up in this one particular area at least once a year to once every 2 years, depending on how much you use your computer. Fernando and I don't know how often you do yours. I do mine twice a year, at least twice a year. Because, my computer's on almost 24/7, So you need to get inside your computer, whether you have a desktop or a laptop, same thing. You need to clean out the dust and dirt and cat hair and whatever that's around your vents, and there's dust and stuff inside. And then you have to take the heat sinks off the two pieces, which is the processor and the graphics card, and you got to clean those off and put new thermal paste on there. The thermal paste makes the connection between the computer chip and the copper tubing, which actually takes the heat out of the computer. If that thermal paste gets dry, or eventually it'll disappear because it's overheated, your computer won't function correctly. Your fans will go crazy. Your computer will overheat in many areas, and you could just really damage your computer. So you don't have to send it to us all the time. We want you to, but if you have a local person you trust there to do that, and a lot of local shops don't really do very good on laptops. You got to find someone who repairs a lot of laptops to do that for you, and it's really a minimal charge, probably an hour's worth of labor. I don't even charge for the thermal paste, it's just you just use a little bit. It's expensive if you get the good stuff. But yeah, so that's something you really want to make sure you're doing. I'm seeing a lot of people call me lately who never get that done, and they send it in, and yeah, look at that. I guess I can't see it real close, Fernando, but it looks like there's dust all over the fans.
Yeah, and hair and stuff, but underneath these squares is where the graphics processor and the Intel central CPU, the actual processor. So yeah, both of those need to have the thermal paste that Ron was talking about.
And every computer's a little different. Some, like he said, some have 2 fans, some have 3, some have 1, some have 2 chips or 3 chips that are covered there. It all depends on the computer model and everything. But you can't just take one of those cans of compressed air and blow it in the fan in the vents. Do not do that. That's actually pushing the dirt and dust in, and you don't want that. You can actually start a fire with a bunch of hair and dust inside your computer. You don't want that. So that's something to consider. I know a lot of you have never had that done in the 7 or 8 years you've had your computer. You're one of the few that haven't had a problem with it. But I can pretty much guarantee you, if you haven't done that long, you have no thermal paste left. It's just gone, So, and it's like a silvery paste that gets put on there. We use one we've been using for years, and every year I check to see if there's something better. So many good techs, so many in the gaming industry still recommend using the one that we use. We use Arctic Silver 5. And there's other ones out there that are good. We have great success with that, so we're not changing it, until I see a need to change it.
You know what's funny, Ron, is that one computer I showed the picture of, when I lifted up both the processors, the outside still had thermal paste where there was no heat, but in the middle was completely gone.
Yeah. Yeah, it
And
just pushes out the side, and yeah, exactly.
yeah,
So, and sometimes the chips will burn because of the heat. You'll see that the chip is burned. You can see burn marks. That's not good. That's probably why your computer's going so slow,
yeah. Where your processor touches, all that should be silver to silver. If it's purplish black,
You got a problem.
that's charred. Yeah.
And
Sue
there's
asked.
different ways people apply it too. I totally disagree with all these guys who put a dab in the middle and then it leaves all the edges of the chip untouched. It's hot on that whole entire chip. So, you got to really know, in the computer industry, there's debates about that all the time. Well, when John showed me how to do it years ago, I totally agreed with him. It's a great way to do it. And we've been doing it ever since, and it's just the best way to do it. So, yeah, if you want to make sure somebody's going to do it right, send it here.
Yeah, I've got a picture of Christy teaching Jaden how to do that the first week he started, and
That's
because
one of the first things you learn, right?
yeah, some people will. It's funny. Ron and I have seen it from other brands where it looks like they use a caulking gun, and like they went.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's
oh
all
my,
over the place. Yeah.
yeah,